You know, sometimes there really are no words to sum up how you feel about a film. And since I'm currently feeling that way right now, I will simply sum up my general thoughts by inserting the following clip.
What is this, honey?
Hey everyone, this is D Movieman, fellow cinephile, popcorn addict, and emerging film critic, coming to you with reliable recaps, reviews, and reactions. And today, my lord, today, I am coming to you all with my out of the theater thoughts. I don't even know if I can call them thoughts. It's just like I don't even know what's gonna really come out of my mouth. All I know is Ella McCay, directed by James L. Brooks. What in the entire is going on? You know how I do my whole spiel where I say, you know, starring such and such, and then I tell you the story? Well, I can't tell you the story or the synopsis because I still have no idea what I just watched. None of it makes sense. So the representatives for this screening just walked by, and I think they were kind of looking by as I was doing this review, and I kind of got quiet because I'm like, believe me, you all do not want the footage that is going to be here on this video. Your representatives will not be pleased to hear what I have to say, so please, let's y'all might want to move on along because if y'all get too close, if y'all ask anything about this, it's not going to go how you think it's going to go. So there's that. But getting back on track, I have no idea what this was. I know, in theory, to an extent, what it was possibly trying to be, but my lord, the execution. All right, so let me at least start by saying that James L. Brooks is a legend, okay? He co-created The Mary Tyler Moore Show, Taxi, and The Simpsons. He also directed Terms of Endearment, Broadcast News, As Good as It Gets, among others. At the very least, 62 Emmys awarded over the course of his lifetime. Countless nominations, countless wins, but at the very least, I have to say that there was something so unbelievably nostalgic about seeing the logo for Gracie Films, the production company, pop up. I was like, oh my gosh, I felt like a little kid again. Because of course, when I was younger, and I would watch The Simpsons, which I would watch all the time, I would remember that logo popping up at the end of the episode. And man, it took me back. It took me back. So just that alone was a whole moment. I will also say that Julie Kavner, who of course is the voice of Marge Simpson and has been for what, the past, maybe not quite 3 decades, but it's very close. But yeah, she was in this, and it's wild because I've never physically seen her at all. As soon as I heard her voice, I was like, I already know who that is. So yeah, I think that in and of itself was really a pleasant surprise. And on top of that, I can say that along with her, of course, we have a multitude of familiar faces. And I will lastly say that I think the idea behind what this story was trying to do and possibly trying to say, I could appreciate that. And then I will also say that Edebiri, she has a very brief scene in this film that for me was the absolute highlight. There was all these other things going on that I'm about to get into, don't worry. But I can say that scene, her performance, that moment, that was the film right there for me. That was the standout. We could have just chopped that out and made it a short film in its own, okay? She was absolutely the standout here. Moving over to my cons, I don't know what this is. I don't know who this is for. I don't know what the story was. All I know is that this, about 99.9% of this film was just people talking talking, 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 and talking some more. And then even when you thought, okay, something just happened, it's then followed by even more talking, like ad nauseum talking. And as someone, I guess, who just appreciates dialogue and usually is here for that, I was just like, oh my gosh.
Shut the up!
It refused to end. It just refused, like, not just the film, because I mean that also, but I mean just I'm like, if we're here to talk, obviously it means something for the characters, it means something for the conversations, for the story dynamic and all of that, but ultimately it was just like, it was just felt like endless chatter, endless conversation. I got so completely checked out of it early on, and I was completely baffled by why it just refused to stop. It was the strangest thing, and I absolutely didn't get why no one thought like, hey, maybe there's some way we can break this up. Maybe there's something we can do to make this more dynamic, more interesting, more diverse, more something. But it never worked for me. Moving on to pacing, past the halfway mark or something like that, I looked at my watch and we were 45 minutes in. And when I realized that, I was like, oh, okay. We are in for a painful experience. Because I was just like, oh, there's no way you could have told me that only 45 minutes had passed. I was actually shocked. And it wasn't like I was completely checked out at that point. And then there was another point where I'm thinking like, we're at the end of the film and we still had 30 minutes left. I was like, oh, okay. All right. Oh, okay. Ooh. Cruel and Unusual Punishment. That's what this film was. And then, oh my gosh, and then the performances outside of Edebiri. It just felt like everybody was on every single scene. It didn't feel natural. It didn't feel fluid. It didn't feel like real characters. None of the characters felt real. None of their dialogue felt real. The dialogue was just like, I don't know. Like, it just like, it felt like everyone was just kind of like doing this whole thing where they were kind of playing like these archetypes, but it was just like very dramatic. And it's like everybody kind of had this moment where they had like these incessant like monologues and they had things to say. And it was just so like extra, and I just didn't like it. It was just too much for me, you know what I'm saying? Because like I as a person, I don't really do all this when I talk, and it's just like, whoa, I don't really get it. I don't really understand. It doesn't make any sense to me. So I just kind of feel like in a dialogue, in a film like this, the screenplay should have characters that talk and interact as actual characters. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, that's what it was like. It was just like, none of this feels real. I thought it was horrendous. This is easily one of the most obnoxious and horribly executed films I've seen this year, and I really kind of feel like my experience this year hasn't been horrible, but when I tell you this is immediately going on my list, and I was still in the process of making my list, but this, yeah, no. You know, and oh, poor James L. Brooks. You know, like I said, his career speaks for itself, and no one has ever taken that away, but ooh, this was not it. As far as this film, it was a 100% absolute no for me. Whoo! So once again, this is D, Movieman, signing off. Whoo, Lord, and I'll see you at the movies. Hopefully not like this, but yeah, I'll see you at the movies.